Hare Krishna and a warm welcome to all our viewers to the GBC Communications podcast. And I'm very delighted to invite you all for this special interview titled Continuity and Change, Guru Prasad Swami's role in ISKCON India after Gopal Krishna Goswami's passing, with His Holiness Guru Prasad Maharaj in relation to a significant new responsibility which Maharaj has taken up in our community. So, warm welcome to Maharaj. My humble obeisances to you.
Hare Krishna.
On behalf
Glory to
of,
Srila Prabhupada.
thank you. On behalf of all of us, we're just very, very honored to have with you us today. His Holiness Guru Prasad Maharaj is primarily based in Latin America. That is his zone where he has taken up preaching responsibilities. Maharaj is a disciple of Srila Prabhupada, where he started his journey in Panama in United States and got his sannyas initiation in 1982, and in 1987 he got appointed as the governing body commission, a role which he still continues till date. And in fact, for the year 2024, Guru Prasad Maharaj is the governing body commission chair. So I just want to welcome Maharaj. Thank you so much that it's been very, very busy for you since the last few months, but you took the time and joined us. And as many of you would know that, our beloved Gopal Krishna Maharaj, who recently passed away, entrusted the significant task of overseeing his zones to Guru Prasad Maharaj in India. And this transition actually marks a pivotal moment for ISKCON as we honor Gopal Krishna Maharaj's legacy while embracing this new leadership. And this is what is going to be a conversation today. We are going to delve into Maharaj's experiences, reflections, and the challenges as he has stepped into this new role, and has been traveling in these different areas in ISKCON India, taking forward his commitment to lead these different yatra. And to begin, Maharaj, I was just thinking that it was actually through a letter that which was, in fact, Gopal Maharaj shared this letter a few months before he left to some of the Indian leaders, where he actually expressed that he wanted you to be his co-GBC in India in all the zones that he led. And I was just thinking that you are like, there was this zone here in India, and you were like based in Latin America. And when you heard about this, how did you feel? How did you feel as a leader, as a GBC member, as a god brother, that Maharaj, Gopal Krishna Maharaj had suggested your name as the co-GBC with him in his zones? And did you get an opportunity to, speak to him or discuss with him personally?
Actually, we spoke about it long before that letter. And I think, as I remember, it was sometime around probably April of last year when he first mentioned it to me. And at first I thought, this would be quite a burden. And but then when I saw a very unique quality of His Holiness Gopal Krishna Maharaj was that I saw he absolutely had no agenda, no personal program, like many devotees. Not that it's bad to have a personal program, but his program was simply to do what Srila Prabhupada had done himself, and in the way that he did it. And that's what more or less convinced me to, to participate. Then we spoke about it, and he said, maybe you can do it informally. The idea was I would act informally as a co-GBC until our our meetings in next AGM, and then we would make it formal if everything went okay. So that was so we had discussed it quite a bit before that letter. Hare Krishna.
When you actually Gopal Krishna Maharaj, he's led the Indian Yatra for almost 40 years, and his presence is so integral to every aspect of management in India, especially like the northern India and the western India. And after you took on the responsibility of leading the zones, and you were visiting the different areas, how did the ISKCON community in India, how did the leadership and the temple devotees, you interacted with, responded to your new role and to the shift?
Well, so far so good. The everyone has been cordial, for the most part, obedient. Although I've tried to be diligent in not trying to change or suggest anything different, rather than try to be an instrument to continue what they've already done. And I've asked devotees also to form different committees and groups, and convincing them that, obviously I am not Gopal Krishna Maharaj, and I don't have that long-standing relationship with everyone. So I can work better through teams of leaders. And so that's a work in progress. But for the most part, everyone has been very receptive and accommodating. So I certainly don't have any complaints. It's been quite a demand on time trying to go to so many places. So humorously, sometimes the devotees ask me, Maharaj, can you come back? Please come back as soon as possible. And I say, well, if I don't come back very soon, it's your Guru Maharaj's fault, because he was the one that made so many temples and so many projects. So if I go and visit all of them, it will be some time before I can get back. Hare Krishna.
You just mentioned that you did not, change much, and nevertheless, this has been a transition from a leader to a leader, and in these specific areas, or are there any areas, are there any issues that you actually prioritize during your visit, and anything that you especially highlighted, or do you have any plans or any initiatives that you would like to actually introduce eventually?
Well, actually, my focus in my own life, what I've taken the decision that I would like to dedicate the rest of my life just to securing Srila Prabhupada's legacy. There are some things that people have implemented or indications that I see as changes that are not exactly, maybe some people think it's for the best, but I don't see it as part of Srila Prabhupada's expressed vision. So I've already had that determination in my life that the years that remain in this body, I would like to dedicate to enforcing Srila Prabhupada's vision, upholding the purposes on which he established ISKCON. And another thing, as far as initiatives, I'm at this point more interested in succession, meaning that these younger devotees, and they're not young men, 45, 50-year-old, most of the zonal leaders and temple presidents, with the exception of a few, are in their 50s, 60s, and some in their 70s. So especially the younger ones, I think instead of myself trying to implement something new, encourage them to progress and evolve. Hare Krishna.
I think this is very profound, Maharaj, what you just shared, that, that you said you want to dedicate the rest of your life to execute Srila Prabhupada's legacy. And I think this is just so, deep, something that we all could reflect on. And I think even your point about empowering young leaders, because as you said that, yes, they are not that young, they are probably in their 50s, and they have so much potential which we want to give a platform to. uh, at the same time, I'm thinking that these leaders have been serving with Gopal Krishna Maharaj since the last, Maharaj has been part of the Indian Yatra since the last 4 decades. And and the devotees, you just kind of develop a distinct system, structure, style, and approach of working. So, with this in consideration, how would you integrate any existing culture of management or any of your approaches to ensure that there is a certain stability and continuity which is maintained in these areas?
Well, for the most part, what I see is that uh, the big difference, I guess I could say, between Gopal Krishna Maharaj and myself is that he, having many people in his zone who are his disciples and others uh, with whom he's worked for decades, most of them, the only implementation or change that I've suggested, so to speak, is that we have to work more as a team, and also the each devotee has to take more responsibility in their individual areas. It certainly it brought back the memories of when Srila Prabhupada had left, and we all had to step up uh, and accept more responsibility. So this is one of the main focuses that I have maintained so far, just for everyone uh, to not, they were accustomed to, if there was a problem, just go to the GBC, and of course anyone who knows the Indian quite well done and quite complex. There are regional secretary assistants, zonal secretaries, divisional councils, uh, zonal teams. So there are a lot of different echelons of management and authority. And so I'm just encouraging each one on those levels to, to to fulfill this, using the structure more, and not something that they had evolved through of just going or immediately writing to the GBC, who was in many cases their guru, or in many other cases, someone with whom they had a long-standing relationship. Hare Krishna.
Maharaj, I think you've always been. I even when you, I think, came to Mumbai, and which is also one of Gopal Krishna Maharaj's key zones. You always stressed on this point that each one of us has to take this individual responsibility in our respective areas, and I think as we do this, as we shoulder this responsibility as individual leaders, and you have, taken the big responsibility of managing this transition that we had. I mean, Gopal Krishna Maharaj was almost like larger than life figure in India. It was almost impossible to even think and imagine his absence. And now that he has left us, and I think we've not been prepared for this, and you have stepped in and managed this transition. What do you see for yourself? What have been the most encouraging and the most challenging aspects of this transition, and how do you plan to address any challenges which exist?
Well, I guess the most challenging thing is that I already have a zone which has almost 400 million people, just as many people pretty much as are in the present zone of Gopal Krishna Maharaj. So, and the challenge is, one of the challenges is a time challenge. If I have to deal with my original zone, then I have to either do it early in the morning or late in the evening. And then I deal with this zone during the day, so that kind of stretches my day out. As my normal sadhana would be, I wouldn't even turn on a cell phone until after the morning program, 6 o'clock at night. And generally, I've always tried to do that. So that's probably my biggest challenge. The challenge in itself within this zone is there are some people who say, Guru Maharaj or Maharaj told me this. There's no record, there's no letter, there's no witness. So sometimes those realizations or those convictions are difficult to deal with because it's very subjective. As far as I find working in India, in one sense, a big change. In Latin America, we have a dearth of leadership, and therefore I almost do everything myself. I never had a secretary. I never had a permanent secretary traveling with me or an assistant. And but in India, there's so much going on that certainly in a few days I will be going back to my area and my original zone, and some health issues that I have to take care of that I have insurance for. But when I come back, I definitely will have to adjust to even. It's hard for one who's for the last how many years since I've been in GBC, almost 38 years now, practically doing everything by myself and trying to adjust to, it's hard for me. It makes more of an effort to try to delegate these, minor administrative aspects to someone else. So that's also a big challenge. At the same, but the preaching and the scope of Krishna consciousness. I spoke with one of my senior godbrothers the other day, and he said, India is just another world. We were discussing the difference between my zone, my original zone, and India. And it certainly is another world. So many preaching opportunities. There's, at any moment, there's 5 or 6 programs in any day. It's like you have to pick which one of many programs that you would like to participate in. Hare Krishna.
What you shared, that you have your zone, and the challenges, and I'm sure that the Indian leadership, and the little that I've heard, they are actually so grateful to you for just stepping up and just sheltering them and securing the yatra. And you also just mentioned, Maharaj, that you would be traveling soon. You've been actually spending, in fact, a few months, 2 or 3 months in India, and you're now moving out. So how do you plan, to stay connected and maintain communications with the leaders in this zone where you are now, the GBC? In the areas in India, and what is your vision? I mean, would you have any vision for the future of these zones?
Well, in India, we have a chat for the North India Divisional Council. We have a chat for the ICC, and I have almost every leader, at least every leader that I've met up to now, I have a personal contact. And what I've been doing since I've been here is not communicating. Otherwise, communicating when others want me to communicate, and not, otherwise, uh, let everyone do their service and do their work. And what I am going to implement in the next couple of days and the next week or so is a system of reports where I can get just bi-monthly, twice a month, get just a little one-page report from the major areas, and then also every month a one-page report from each temple. Just what programs, just a very quick summary. But for the most part, um, as I've been doing with my original zone, just maintain uh, Zoom meetings and email and WhatsApp communications. Hare Krishna.
Krishna, I remember when I think you came to Mumbai, everybody was already, Maharaj, when are you coming back and join us for this festival? And so, yeah, I think the devotees have established a bond, a connect with you. And I mean, you haven't even left, but they're already looking forward to having you back. So I think this would just actually even make Gopal Krishna Maharaj so pleased that you have really connected and related to the Indian leadership. And I was actually thinking that something which is very distinct, and I'm sure a lot of devotees have probably been wondering, and we cannot miss the fact that you have shouldered this extraordinary responsibility at a time when you are also overseeing another very key service area, which is serving as the chair of the GBC. And that comes with a whole set of key duties, and some of them which are time sensitive, a lot of them are crisis situations. So how do you actually balance and manage your duties as the GBC chair and the other responsibilities, especially this which you have like whole new zone now to take care?
Well, we have uh, EC meetings twice a week. We have a very good EC, very capable devotees and hardworking. And I'm also eternally indebted to our secretaries, Ananda Tirtha Prabhu and Mother Radha Sundari, and of course the ESO, all of you who are, supplying such a wonderful service of taking care of many aspects that maybe previous ECs, executive committees, didn't have. And so that has made things much easier. And in the beginning, it was quite easy. The last couple of weeks and couple of months, some challenges have come up, but both Tapan Mishra Prabhu and Govardhan Prabhus have both, um, stepped up and taking, maybe they're because they're younger than I am, at least a bit younger, and they're both very, very diligent and also very expert in managerial abilities. So they take up a lot of slack, which probably would have been a big challenge for me because I don't have that background. But so far it hasn't been so stressful, and I'm working on a few things, hopefully, for the upcoming GBCs and ECs that will hopefully make their service a bit easier. Hare Krishna.
Um, yes, Manoj, I'm just, as you're talking of your different duties, you mentioning the GBC duties, you have your own zone, and of course the new responsibility juggling. And I think you have been juggling all these services with exceptional grace, poise, and especially I think what for me, what I have noticed is that you actually bring so much of the sattva gun, the element of goodness in the service. And So I was just thinking that what is within is without, and amidst all of these challenges, especially this responsibility just came very unexpectedly, where you had to just step up and you actually cancelled some of your other assignments, engagements like the sadhu sang retreat, like going for the Rath Yatra in New York, and everything that was pre-planned earlier. So how do you actually, amidst all this new administrative responsibilities and leadership responsibilities, how do you find that balance within and maintain your spiritual focus and nourish yourself spiritually?
Well, I guess one thing is anyone who's worked as a GBC or a leader in Latin America, sometimes one is quite isolated in the sense that when I'm in Latin America, I don't have that many God brothers. I mean, there's a few here and there, but in many countries there are no Prabhupada disciples, and so I guess mm, learning how to or having the habit of working alone, not being able to attend many festivals like Sadhu Sangha. I haven't attended for probably, I think I attended the first two and that was it. And many festivals that many devotees can attend, or different Rath Yatras. Generally, I just attended the ones in my zone, and even those I've missed. But I guess I have a little bit of an introspective and introverted nature. So I find the greatest solace in my chanting, Prabhupada's books, and just trying to maintain a good level of sadhana. And that for me is very satisfying and very complete. So that contributes a lot to, missing some of the things that many others are accustomed to participating in. Hare Krishna.
I think also what you mentioned, which is one of the take homes for me, is I think when you were addressing the devotees here in True, that you actually keep your cell phone off and you just check it a few times in a day, and I'm sure it must be ringing busy with a lot of you know things asking for your attention. But I think that was also in this digital age where we are pressed, um, and so many demands. I think that is setting a good example for us, that yes, while you're chanting, when you're attending the entire morning program, you said you just don't access your phone, and all of that happens after 9 o'clock. And even in the evening, you mentioned that yes, you just are reflective, just hearing the Bhagavad Gita in the night or the Krishna book, and retiring for the day in that consciousness. So I think that was very, very valuable. And I think I was just as you mentioned that you have in fact set through your example such a high standard for us in ISKCON, with taking up this responsibility, and what you just said, that you plan to dedicate the rest of your life to execute Srila Prabhupada's legacy. And it's not words, but you actually showed that through your example. So, I just want to invite you to share some few words of realization, inspiration, and encouragement, to the devotee community, leaders, devotees in our movement, which can actually inspire them and encourage them through your example.
Well, I can certainly say that for the most part, I find that just I'm trying to always return. And, I've been reading a lot of conversations, letters of Srila Prabhupada, to just understand how Prabhupada did things, how Srila Prabhupada wanted things to be done, and how he instructed his leaders. And so I just encourage everyone, just have this focus on Srila Prabhupada. Understand whatever anyone else's level of spiritual realization is, that Srila Prabhupada, descended from Goloka Vrindavan. He communicated with Krishna. His books, for the most part, dictated by Krishna and previous acharyas. And having that mood of surrender to the mission of the parampara and the spiritual master, I find is the surest and most positive way to have a successful spiritual life. I can't think of anything else. And I also recommend to all the devotees, as much as possible, regularly read Srila Prabhupada's biographies, Lilamrita, Harishwari Prabhu's diaries, Transcendental Diary, and all the other devotees who have wonderfully contributed their experience with Srila Prabhupada. It helps us understand how to keep this movement going in that mood of managerial simplicity that Srila Prabhupada had and philosophical complexity. Otherwise, simple living and high thinking was what I saw that Srila Prabhupada, how he conducted his life. And, he was always in favor of keeping things simple and being very deeply reflective on the Bhagavatam, the Bhagavad Gita, and Chaitanya Charitamrita. So if we stick to these simple principles, which were personified in Srila Prabhupada's presence, then I find this the most encouraging and surest way to make sure that ISKCON continues as Srila Prabhupada so desires. Hare Krishna.
Thank you so much, Maharaj. On behalf of everyone here, on behalf of the devotee community, the leadership in ISKCON India, I want to express our deepest gratitude to you for your valuable time, for your insights that you have shared with us today, and your dedication to guiding and supporting our community. ISKCON India, especially during this period of transition, is just really deeply appreciated. And I just, was thinking that there was, I've been serving in the Indian Yatra for 3 decades, and we never ever could think that, there would be a time without Gopal Krishna Maharaj. And we just think that would be chaos, that would be anarchy. But you so graciously honored Maharaj's words, his desire, and you just, not only helped to stabilize, the situation and the transition, but you are actually now so dear to the devotees. You've actually won the hearts of, the Indian leadership, where they are feeling sheltered and protected. And I think that, what better offering, we can offer to Gopal Krishna Maharaj than this, which will actually bring him so much peace and happiness to see that his zones and his leaders are taken care of. So I just want to express my deep gratitude to you, Maharaj, for being this example for us. And thank you so much for taking the time for, of all your, as you said, that it's been so busy for you with, all your responsibilities, the health challenges, your travels. You made some time to share with us and just give us a little insight into how things are with you, and how this journey has been for you from your end. And in closing, I just want to mention to our devotees that Maharaj, he's honored Gopal Krishna Maharaj, by rising up to the occasion. And as an extension of that, it is essential for all of us and each of us to reflect that how we can contribute and support our community. Like whether, just like what Maharaj said, that, we want to dedicate our lives to Srila Prabhupada's mission, and what is it that, we want to do, whether through service, we can do it through participating in different sevas, taking more responsibility, and most importantly, I think what Maharaj has taught us through his example is that we can just be there for each other, like how he was there for Gopal Krishna Maharaj when Maharaj needed him the most. So thank you so much, Maharaj. And we just wish you, yeah, good health and safe travels. And thank you so much for leading us. And hopefully, at another time, we would like to again continue the discussion with, how we've been taking the journey forward with the Indian Yatra. Thank you so much.
My pleasure. Thank you. Hare Krishna. Glories to Srila Prabhupada.